lot of people, that's the image they have of Florida. That's the goal. That's the reason they want to be here. It was for me. Well, I want you to keep that image in mind. Remember, keep your eye on the prize. Because today I'm going to tell you all the things that I wish I had known about moving to Florida before I moved here. And we're going to do that right now. My name's Krista and I've been living and working in the Central Florida area for about 13 years. Now, a lot of you are probably moving here or interested in moving here from other states. I was coming internationally, so my situation was somewhat different. Also, it was a while ago, so there wasn't as much information available on the internet. Still, there are many things that I wish I knew that I didn't know about. And that's why I'm making these videos too, to help you out. So if this is of interest to you, please be sure to click subscribe and click on the bell so you get notifications when I put up a weekly video. This is a video that I feel like I could just record over and over again because there's so many things that I could say. So I'm going to do my best to knock this out today. And if you think of something else, if you're a Florida resident already and I've missed something, please feel free to comment below. I'll be grateful to hear your thoughts on this topic. Okay, let's dive right into it. The first thing that I wish I had known about when I moved to Florida was the price of homeowners insurance. So if you're buying a brand new home or a nearly new home, let's say from the year 2000 or newer, and the roof is fairly new, this doesn't apply to you. You won't have a problem with insurance. It won't be very expensive. You'll be fine. But if you're not buying a house like that, like let's say you're buying a house in a flood zone or near the coast or an old home built prior to even maybe 1970. There are a limited number of insurance carriers who will be willing to write you a policy, and depending on some of the features of the home, even fewer. So for instance, if you have a flat roof on part of your house, you will have a limited number of carriers. If your wiring is outdated, you'll have an even smaller number of carriers. And the price goes up and up and up. I know that's not the case in every state, so that can be some sticker shock for you. You can, of course, shop around. If you're paying cash for a home, you don't have to have homeowners insurance, or you can have a bare minimum. But do note that the prices are going to be a lot more than you're probably used to. The second thing I wish I had known more about before moving to Florida was the cost of car insurance. Car insurance in Florida on average is 52% more expensive than the national average, and Florida drivers pay an average of $171 per month in car insurance. The rates are higher due to a number of factors. First of all, we have a lot of uninsured drivers in Florida. We have a lot of higher risk drivers. We have a lot of tourists who don't know the roads. We have a lot of elderly drivers. Florida is a no-fault state, which means that your insurance covers you no matter who is at fault, and that brings the rates up a bit. Now, insurance carriers will look at each individual zip code and adjust from there, and your credit score can help, but chances are you're going to be paying more in Florida. The third thing I didn't fully understand before moving to Florida was a bit about the weather. So maybe this is only me, but I was under the impression that if we didn't move to the coast, we would be safer. And that has not really proven to be the case. Sure, South Florida tends to get really hammered during hurricane season, but inland in Central Florida, we do too. I have spent several nights on a mattress in our laundry room, waiting for a hurricane to pass, listening to tornado warnings go off, and it's not really a pleasant experience. They do give you ample warning to get out of the state, but a lot of times hotels get booked up pretty quickly. And sometimes you don't know which direction the storm is going to go until the very last second. So you could evacuate to a different part of Florida and the storm could turn there anyway. That's definitely happened in recent years. Another thing about Florida weather is it is hotter than I ever imagined or understood. And it's hot and humid too, which makes it sometimes oppressive. And sometimes you just don't even want to leave your house. Now, when you go to the beach, there's generally a breeze and it feels a little bit better. And of course, you can get in the water to cool off. But just know the hottest Florida days are really, really hot and very often extremely humid. It's a different kind of climate and it changes throughout Florida too. Central Florida is not tropical. You have to go down further south till you hit the tropical area. And northern Florida is nothing like central Florida. Another big draw to Florida is the fact that there is no state income tax, which is great. Of course, they do make up for it in other ways. There's sales tax on clothing, which some states don't have. You'll also find that property taxes may be higher. Still, the overall tax burden in Florida is the third lowest in the whole nation. Another thing I wish I had understood about Florida, in particular Central Florida, is there's a lot more to do here than just the theme parks. There are walking trails, you can swim with manatees, go horseback riding, go on hikes. There's just a wide variety of interesting things to do. And for the most part, you're not going to have to drive too far. They're scattered throughout big lakes. You can rent boats or jet skis, go fishing. And you can do that pretty much year round because of the weather. Now, there's not a huge variety in landscape. Florida's basically level and flat. You can find some hilly areas, but that's an adjustment for people coming from more mountainous regions. You're going to probably miss that, but you can drive to Georgia and kind of take in the scenic mountain views. It's not that far of a drive. Here are some other things I didn't know about Florida before I moved here. We don't have basements. We don't have annual car inspections. The wildlife is crazy, and the further south you go, the bigger it gets. Even here in Central Florida, we have black bears. And let me tell you, the first time you walk out to your car and find a black bear sitting on the hood eating from your trash, it's not a moment that you forget easily. Alligators are pretty much in every lake, but they don't generally attack you unless you're really in their territory.
The best view is around the fence right there.
So if you have any questions about moving to Florida, please feel free to email me, text me, send me a carrier pigeon, a smoke signal, whatever works best for you. I love to hear from my viewers, so feel free to comment below or however you choose. I will be glad to hear from you. Thanks for watching.